Dear 2024-2025 Michigan men's basketball team, you are forever etched in my heart. Cut to the intro. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your guy Rudy SKC, and welcome back to a brand new video. Michigan takes down Texas A&M in the round of 32, 91-79, and they continue to dance on to the Sweet 16, where they will either take on Auburn or Creighton. They're actually playing right now, and Auburn is losing. It's halftime, so fingers crossed on that. Oh, actually, okay, halftime resumed and Auburn took the lead. Fantastic. We'll continue to monitor that throughout the video. The magic number is officially 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, as in 4 more games to win to achieve eternal glory. Right now, I just want you guys, comment down below how far you think Michigan can go, okay? Do you think the ride stops at the Sweet 16? Do you think you can get to the Elite 8, Final 4? Or do you think we can win it all? Right now, I want you guys to comment it down below, because this team just makes zero sense. I swear, the basketball gods, every single Michigan game, they play a game of seesaw. They play a game of seesaw. And what I mean by that is, every time Michigan goes up or down and the seesaw tilts one way or the other, the basketball gods decide, no, let's balance this, and they press the other button to try to balance it. They hang on the other side. So this team absolutely makes zero sense, okay? Let's just talk about the game flow, okay? This is mostly back and forth in the first half, okay? Then A&M, end of the first half, they start to go on a run. They end the half up 7, basically. They start off the second half guns ablaze, and they eventually go up by 10 points. Then Dusty goes into a 2-3 zone, and there are a ton of other factors that contributed to this. But the main coaching change, Dusty goes to the 2-3 zone, and immediately Michigan goes on a humongous run, okay? They get close, they get within 2 a couple times, and eventually they end up taking the lead. They eventually end up going up by 10. And at this point, we're all like, okay, let's go blue. We're going to close it out, right? And then, I'm getting ready. I'm thinking in this video, I'm going to talk about how Michigan, down the stretch, their execution so far through 2 March Madness games has been exquisite. This team allows Texas A&M to go on a run and get the score within 2 points again, okay? And now I'm panicking. I'm in full panic mode because I know this team. The other side of the seesaw has been sat on. The basketball gods, they're doing it to me again. They're trying to give me a heart attack. And then Ice Trae. I talked about this last time. He is your closer. He hits one of the clutchest, tough baskets at the rim I've seen. I don't know whether he intended to not hit the backboard. Regardless, it went in. The man is pure ice water, okay? I'm going to call him Ice Trae from here on out, okay? Pushes the lead back up to 4. Michigan never really looks back. By the way, the next possession, this team, they're whack, man. The next possession after that Trae put them up 4, Texas A&M, the only thing you don't want to do, the commentator said it, don't give up a 3. This team falls asleep on a basic pick and roll. They don't pick the guy up, and they get him a great look at 3. If he had made that would have cut the lead down to 1, right? So this team, man, this team, I don't know how to explain it, man. This team is just this team. That's the best way you can put it. And then the other thing that makes zero sense, Texas A&M today had 8 turnovers. Guess how many turnovers Michigan had? 9. They had 9 turnovers. I think that might be the lowest number of turnovers Michigan has had this entire year. If you guys remember, during John Beiling's tenure, Michigan used to be among the best teams in the NBA, the NCAA, in terms of controlling their turnovers, right? They'd be among maybe like within the top 5 in terms of the amount of turnovers per game, right? They did average within that 9 to 10 amount. Michigan, this game, they stayed in that range. They only had 9 turnovers. Now, given 4 to 5 of Michigan's other plays should have been turnovers. There are a ton of plays where Michigan, they threw some wacky pass into double traffic. The ball bounced off of some knee or a hip or a back or a shoulder of a Texas A&M player. Michigan gets it back, and now they're like 3-on-2 towards the rim, and then Vlad or Danny get a good look. They just make zero sense. Call it luck whether you want to or not. But this team makes zero sense. Okay? This team genuinely makes zero sense. Between all these seesaw runs, between the turnovers, okay? Between just the amount of wide open bunnies that Michigan missed this game, They make zero sense. You're not supposed to win tournament games by missing layups. Not in March, not in the NCAA. That's not what happens, guys. This is not the formula to victory. The formula to victory in the NCAA is not having a dominating front court. No, the NCAA tournaments are normally won by extremely strong guard play. And this Michigan team just does not care. They don't care about the odds. That's the best you can put it. They don't care about the odds, and that's why they're dancing on to the next round. Other thing to mention, even outside of the game flow, they keep beating the odds in terms of expectations. Michigan coming into UCSD, everyone said that was a terrible draw for Michigan. Why? UCSD, they rank 8th in turnovers forced and 1st in least turnovers committed in the NCAA. Michigan, they're probably the worst Power 5 team in terms of turnovers committed per game. And you go in and you beat them. And then everyone said Texas A&M, they're a terrible matchup. One of the best, or actually I think they rank as the #1 offensive rebounding team in the country versus Michigan, who's a poor team on the glass. Guess what? Michigan, 16 offensive rebounds, 32 defensive rebounds, 48 total rebounds. Compared to A&M, 15 offensive rebounds. We have 1 more offensive rebound than them. 24 defensive rebounds. We had 8 more defensive rebounds than them. 39 total rebounds. We had 9 more total rebounds than them. You out-rebounded on the offensive and defensive glass. One of the best rebounding teams in the country. And to me, that just sticks with the mentality. Dusty came on before the game and said that, guys, the way we have to win the game, rebound, okay? Put your energy on the glass. And this team just showed that if they actually need to try, they can make it happen, man. I love the effort from the guards today rebounding. Especially, I'll say, Reuben Jones. I haven't even checked how many rebounds he had, okay? 7 rebounds from your guard. Essentially, your starting shooting guard. 7 rebounds, okay? And one of them was an offensive rebound. That's absolutely humongous from a guy who, Reuben Jones, he's there to do dirty work. He's there to play defense. He's there to get steals. He's there to get the energy points, okay? That's what Reuben Jones is there for. He had 7 rebounds with one of them being an offensive rebound. That's absolutely humongous. And Michigan did a great job of winning with those margins today. It was absolutely unbelievable. This team, they're, regardless of what kind of hand they're thrown, this team shows that they don't care about the odds. They're going to go all in. They're going to play all out. And if they win, they're moving on. If not, they're going home. But this team does not care. They just don't care. Going into some marquee performers, I got to talk about the player of the game. The player of the game is Ohio State legend, Roddy Gale. Can you guys believe that a year ago this guy was on the most hated, the most despicable team in the entire NCAA, and now he's an absolute hero in the greatest city in the entire United States of Ann Arbor? I mean, Roddy Gale, the amount of criticism he's faced this entire year, from me included, okay? I'm not going to say I'm absolved of not giving Roddy Gale criticism. I've said it multiple times in my videos, he needs to play better. I've also said that Roddy Gale is the X factor for this team. I have, one of my shorts that you guys can go and check it out. I talk about Roddy Gale last game and how he was an X factor for Michigan. I talk about how I think he's the X factor for Michigan if they want to make a far run in the tournament. And he wasn't just an X factor today. No, he was Michigan's best player. He was Michigan's best player. 26 points career high. Shot 4 of 6 from 3. 66.7% from 3. Okay? Look at this, guys. When Michigan's offense, when Michigan went down 10 in the second half, I talked about Dusty. He switched to the 2-3 zone right around 9 to 10 minutes left in the game. But Michigan, they had to, whenever you're down big in any basketball game, a lot of times it takes multiple runs to get back in. College basketball is about a game of runs, right? And it takes multiple runs to get back in sometimes. They got it within 3, within 4, and then Texas A&M pushed it back up. The one constant throughout all of that was Roddy Gale, man. And when I tell you, we haven't seen this guy hit threes at this clip this entire year. 4 of 6 from 3 is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, okay? And then all of the amazing smart plays he made on offense, driving to the rim. He's able to, the same thing we saw in the Texas A&M game, the UCSD game, the way he's using his size to get to the rim. The way he's crafty at getting to the rim, and the way he just plays within the flow of the offense, man, it's absolutely beautiful to watch. And guys, he is absolutely your X factor if you want to go far. And I'm telling you that candidly. He's absolutely your X factor because he's the guy that teams don't come in game planning for. They're game planning for Area 51. They're game planning for Trey Donaldson out on the perimeter. They're game planning to not let Nimari Burnett get any kind of open looks from three. Nimari Burnett did not have his best game today. He hasn't had a great tournament so far, so we'll see how he continues to progress. If he finds his shooting stripe, then, other teams are in for some trouble. But that's the one downer spot right now for Michigan, in my opinion, is that Nimari Burnett is yet to get going. But when Roddy Gale's playing like this, man, who cares? Who cares? At one point, he scored 10 straight for Michigan, and he was absolutely all over the place. That was Roddy Gale today. And just a reminder, he was in Columbus last year playing for the Ohio State Buckeyes, and he does the unthinkable, and he transfers over to the side of good. He comes over to Ann Arbor, and now he's a legend. He's a legend. No one remembers. No one's going to remember how well Roddy Gale played in the regular season. No one cares anymore. Unless, he makes the stupidest play of all time, costing Michigan a game in this NCAA tournament. Everyone is going to remember Roddy Gale for this 26-point performance in the round of 32. That's his Michigan basketball legacy. That's just what it is. Because the tournament makes legacies. The tournament makes legacies of players. And today was an example of how it could make the legacy of a player as in Roddy Gale, man. And it's just absolutely wonderful to watch. Another marquee performer, LJ Kaysen, man, true freshman coming into the game. We've talked about on this channel, this team tends to struggle when Trey Donaldson isn't in the game. Okay? Start of the second half, right? They could not get a stop on defense, and that's what allowed Texas A&M to go up by so much. That's why when Dusty switched to the 2-3 zone later on in the game, right? It had some, it paid some dividends. But when Trey Donaldson got out of the game towards, maybe the 14, 15-minute mark, I can't remember when it was exactly, LJ Kaysen came into the game and he absolutely took the reins. He was splashing threes, driving hard, getting to the free throw line, and playing hard defense. Look at this stat line, man. Okay, LJ Kaysen. Let's look at this. Okay, he's 11 points. Okay, 1 of 2 from 3, and he's 4 of 5 from the free throw line. He got to the free throw line 5 times. Okay. And it's not going to tell me how many minutes he played. But obviously, he was coming off the bench today. And he had an elevated role. He gave Trey Donaldson a humongous breather off on the bench because Michigan was making a comeback with LJ Kaysen. For a true freshman, this is the jump you want to see. Okay? This is the true freshman jump that you don't predict this going into the tournament. Because LJ Kaysen, he's shown flashes and bits and pieces all year. This was the LJ Kaysen game. This is the game where LJ Kaysen introduces himself to the world. This is the game where LJ Kaysen introduces himself as the future starting guard for Michigan. This is where he shows that he's capable of doing that. And the biggest strength, in my opinion, getting to the free throw line was so huge. The way he was driving to the rim was absolutely insane to me. The force he was driving to the rim, it was controlled, yet it was also wild. It was wild enough that it caused defenders to jump out, to lose their legal guarding stance, to try to block him, and he got to the free throw line, man. And that slowed the pace of the game down. It slowed down Texas A&M's momentum, right? Any kind of, I'm a believer of momentum, okay? I believe in momentum. I believe in emotions affecting the play of the game, because at the end of the day, the play of the game is dependent on players. And we as humans allow emotions to affect not only our decision making, but also our performance. So I 100% believe in momentum. LJ Kaysen slowed down the momentum that Texas A&M had while they were on a roll by getting to the free throw line. And that was humongous for Michigan, okay? And just look at Michigan from the free throw line today. Not just that, right? Vlad Golden also shot like 12 free throws, I think. We went 29 for 36 from the line, and we shot 81%, which is like last game, you shoot 50%. You're not winning tournament games if you shoot 50% from the free throw line, but you're Michigan and you don't care about the odds, right? And then A&M, they shot 18 for 26, so they only got to the line. They got to the line 10 less times, right? We were in the double bonus the last 8 minutes of the game. Think how crazy that is. Every common foul committed after the under 8 timeout, essentially, right? It was essentially getting Michigan 2 free throws. And Michigan took great advantage of that. They kept doing what was working for them. That's what allowed them to go on a run. That's what allowed them to get up by 10 points, man. And a lot of that was due to the way LJ Kaysen just injected energy into the game. The second he got into the game, on the offensive, even on the defensive side, man, The way he was slowing down, I forget what number their guard was wearing, but the guy who's leading scoring for Texas A&M, right? The guy who hit that logo 3, right? He was slowing down scoring for him when he was on the defensive side of the ball. And on the offensive side, he was controlling the tempo. Okay, he was, like I mentioned earlier, he was playing controlled yet wild at the same time, and it was a beautiful thing to watch that jump. Shout out LJ Kaysen. And then finally, the final marquee performance, really 2 players, but I gotta say, Area 51. So Vladdy obviously had a great game, right? 23 points, 12 rebounds. But the reason I want to include Danny Wolf in this, Vlad Golden, 3 blocks. Danny Golden, 3 blocks. 6 combined blocks between those two. And we've had this complaint all year is that we need, for the size we have, we do not put nearly enough rim pressure as we should. And today, Michigan did just that. They put so much rim pressure on Texas A&M. They forced everything. Everything was a tough shot that Texas A&M made. Almost everything was a tough shot. They didn't get any. The only easy looks they got was when Will Cheddar was in the game. When Vlad Golden got in foul trouble and Michigan was like rotating him and Will Cheddar offense defense for like the final 5-minute stretch. Those were when A&M were getting quality shots at the rim. The defense, it was absolutely humongous between them. Danny himself, 14 points, 9 rebounds. I wouldn't say this is the Danny Wolf game, because I know Danny Wolf is going to have his game. He's going to have his moment this tournament. But he played well, in my opinion. He played well. He absolutely did play well. And Vlad, obviously, is a huge part of closing it out, man. Michigan at the end of the game, right? They were just dumping the ball to him, right? Like I mentioned, I would say Trey probably hit the biggest shot of this game, right? Because, okay, also like going beforehand, before the shot to put Michigan up 4, stopping Texas A&M momentum, he also hit a humongous stop layup to put Michigan up 1 or up 3 or whatever. But essentially, it was a huge shot in terms of swinging the momentum. He had another huge shot. He hit 2 huge shots down the stretch. But outside of Trey, the other guy who was closing it down towards the end was Vlad Golden, because Michigan, they were dumping the ball to him and letting him go to work. There's one point where Michigan, I think it was Reuben Jones, because A&M, they were pressing. And Michigan, for the most part, outside of a couple almost turnovers, like we mentioned earlier, Michigan was doing a good job beating the press. And that allowed a ton of opportunities for Vlad to get one-on-ones down. And we obviously know how well Vlad is at using his size. So he was able to close it out towards the end. He got a couple of buckets and free throws, man. 9 of 11 from the line. It's huge. Having a big that can do that is absolutely huge. And he's one of the biggest reasons why he won the game, man. So I would say those are my 3 marquee performers of the game, right? LJ Kaysen, humongous freshman moment. Roddy Gale, the star of the day. And then Area 51 helping close it out, okay? So let's kind of wrap up this video now. I guess the big question that all of you are asking me right now, am I all in? Am I all in on this Michigan basketball team to win the national championship? And the answer right now is it depends on what happens with Auburn and Vanderbilt. Just a quick update to you guys. Score is now 58-52 Auburn. If Auburn wins this game, I have to wait till the Sweet 16. Because I don't know, man. Auburn, this entire year, they absolutely looked fantastic. It's hard to see me as a rational watcher of the game to say Michigan is going to win without it being clouded with some sort of objectivity. But at the same time, or subjectivity, but at the same time, man, this team is magical. They're magic. And that's why I'm never going to forget them. And I don't doubt that they're going to have a chance to win. And if they do win that Sweet 16 game, I'm going to come on camera and I'm going to be 150% all in on winning a national championship. I'm going to be 150% in. Because if you get that type of win in that type of environment in the Sweet 16, and you beat basically, the best team in the country or one of the top 4 teams in the country, I have no option but to come in and say that I'm all in. Ladies and gentlemen, the magic number is 4. You win 4 games, you achieve eternal glory. Get that through your heads. What you're watching right now is pure magic. And it's going to remain with me forever. Like I mentioned to you in the beginning of the video, it's going to remain with me. Forever. But let's see what happens. Because, man, if this team continues to do what they're doing, they're going to be something special. And not just in Michigan lore, in NCAA lore, because of the turnaround from this season. And that's going to be so special. So regardless of what happens, I know this Michigan team, they're going to continue to not care about the odds because that's who they are. That's the mentality that Dusty May has instilled within his team. And that's the mentality that I'm going into this next game. So we'll see what happens then. I'll catch you guys for the next Pistons recap, probably coming out tomorrow. All right? Peace out.